Good morning. We are Between the Weights inside the Grow Fitness, and I am your host, Ryan. Lots of questions recently about intermittent fasting. It's becoming more and more popular. More and more people trying it. So we're getting lots of questions on what I think about it and if it's helpful or how you should do it and all of these things, right? So, like most of these subjects, it depends. It's fairly complicated subject to get into. But let me just break it down as easily as I can, as simply as we can try to convey these ideas, right? So intermittent fasting is basically skipping breakfast, right? It's basically not eating immediately after you wake up. And whether you have your first meal around noon or 2 p.m. or something, what's happening is you are decreasing the amount of hours in a day that you eat food, okay? And so lots of people are losing weight because the simple fact that you eat less food in a shorter amount of time to eat the food, okay? So that's why intermittent fasting is so popular. The way that it's picking up as a sort of a diet, I don't know, fad is the right word. More people are doing it because lots of people are seeing success in losing weight, okay? But it's nothing special about intermittent fasting as far as weight loss goes, because all weight loss or weight gain is essentially the cause is the same. If you don't eat a lot, you're going to lose weight. If you eat too much, you're going to gain weight. Okay, and so intermittent fasting is just an easier way to not eat so much because you're shortening the window that you eat. Okay, and so if you think about that as all you're doing is you're skipping breakfast, and it's not even that, because when you're sleeping, we call it breakfast because it's the first meal, and you wake up and you break the fast that you've been doing while you've been asleep, right? And so whether you eat your first meal at noon, you're still breaking the fast. You're just waiting until noon to do it, okay? So when we start to get into some of the things that make doing intermittent fasting or fasting in general difficult is lots of people don't get enough food already. And if you decrease the window that you have to eat in, then all of a sudden you're going to get even less food for an average person. Now, if you're really on top of it and you're eating the right types of food, then it's less of an issue, okay? But that means that you're really on top of it. You got to be really on top of it, okay? So when you are hungry, you get cravings. Your body is sending signals to wherever that you need food. And so you're going to get it, right? Your body's hungry. It needs food, and it's telling you that it needs food. So usually, and particularly in the types of food that we get that's around us all the time, we are surrounded by simple carbs and sugar that spike our blood sugar and turn off the signals that you need food. Because when you have low blood sugar, you're dragging, you're tired, you're going to get feelings of being hungry and all of these things, right? And so your body wants to get those feelings to go away as quickly as possible. So it's going to turn to the things that digest easy and that will get the blood sugar up quick, because that's what's going to give you energy to operate, to survive, to live, right? And those things are sugar and simple carbohydrates, bread, noodles, donuts, right? Fruit, right? So fruit is sugar. So let's just think of fruit as sugar, okay? And so, sorry, getting all sorts of funny texts. So then your blood sugar spikes and you're happy again, okay? However, the problem then becomes, as you're constantly spiking blood sugar, you may have heard this term, you become insulin resistant, okay? When blood sugar spikes, lots of stuff happens in your body so that it can process the sugar and give you energy, right? Your insulin responds to it, and just there's all sorts of mechanisms happening in your body, okay? Science. And so when you're constantly spiking, eventually your body gets used to the spikes, and they become less and less effective. Just think of it like that, right? If you think about, eventually a little bit of caffeine is not enough. You need a little bit more next time, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, until you're drinking caffeine all day long, or you can slam caffeine right before you go to bed and it doesn't even affect you anymore, right? Your body gets used to the things that you're doing to it, and so you have to do more. The problem with spiking blood sugar also, especially with sugars, highly refined sugar, the foods that we get currently make you gain weight. Your body's already not getting enough nutrients. So your body's already in survival mode. It's already in whatever we're going to get, we're going to hold on to because we're not sure when we're going to get it again. Coupled with the types of nutrients that you're getting promote you being fat. This is to promote weight gain. Sugar, high processed corn syrup, all of these processed carbohydrates and stuff is just going to get you fatter, okay? So, your blood sugar spiked. There's lots of other things we can get into about how horrible these foods are, but that this video is already too long, right? So what to eat? Okay, if you're going to try intermittent fasting, if you're going to try to push breakfast back because you want to try it and see if it'll work for you, it can be helpful to not have that third meal if you're trying to lose weight. So the foods we want to eat that won't spike your blood sugar, that will maintain an even blood sugar so that you're able to actually you lose the weight. We want to make sure you're getting enough food, right? We start to turn to, number one, we want food to be as original as possible, as unprocessed, as natural as possible. You think of the term raw, we like raw, so we want to eat raw food. And when I say raw, I don't mean bloody, but what I mean is recently alive and well. So food that was recently alive and well. A carrot pulled out of the ground was recently alive and well. It was recently a plant, okay? There's always going to be some sort of processing that goes into the food that we get, right? A tractor's got to pull it out of the ground. A butcher's got to cut it into pieces. There's always going to be some sort of processing, but we want to be as close to the source of that food becoming food as we can, as close to it dying as possible, right? So whether you're getting that directly from a butcher or you're going to the farmer's market and you're getting as fresh as food as possible. Next, when you come off of your fast, we want to eat foods that have a low glycemic index, okay? That's fancy words for saying they don't spike your blood sugar. They're not going to be full of sugar and simple carbs. So if you think fats and protein, okay? Eggs. Breakfast meats are great for these types of things, right? Steak is good. Fish. So avocados and nuts. Healthy fats and proteins are going to be beneficial when you are coming off of your fast, whether that's at 9 a.m. or noon or 2 p.m. Not only are they not going to spike your blood sugar, but they're going to help with all of the other functions that your body needs. Digestion, recovery, all of these things are better when you eat the right types of foods when you come off of your fast. Okay? So, intermittent fasting can work provided that the foods that you eat when you're eating food are working with the reason that you're doing intermittent fasting and aren't working against the benefits of doing intermittent fasting. It is also very important that when you do intermittent fasting, that you are still making sure that you get all of the nutrients in your body that you need. 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh. Okay? That you still get the number of calories that you actually need to power your life. And that is significantly more than you think. Okay? Again, like Google, you can go find your base metabolic rate calculators and figure out how many calories you actually need. But we did it the other day for a normal woman. She's normal size, I don't know, 5'2" or whatever, normal-ish weight, and she needs 1,600 calories every day. And if you are a normal-sized lady, you're going to need about 1,600, and that is more than you think it is. And you're going to need 120, 150 grams of protein. That's about 15 ounces of protein. That's a pound of protein if you're getting it all from meat, right? These amounts are significantly more than you're used to getting. So you need to get all the things you need. And when you're coming off from your fast, it's particularly important that you don't do things that are going to spike your blood sugar. One final note. If it's been 4 hours since your last meal, you're coming off of a fast again. It's not a very long fast, but it still is a fast. And so if you start realizing how often that you're tired or hungry and the first thing you go to is something that is quick and easy, sugar, an apple, a bagel, you're spiking your blood sugar and you're making it harder for you to lose weight. You're fighting against yourself in the way that you're deciding to do things. So in those instances, like a thing that's higher in fat is better for you to snack on than things that are carbohydrates. Okay? So, I've summarized one time. I know that this video is incredibly long. There's nothing special necessarily about intermittent fasting. The most important thing to consider is the foods that you eat when you're coming off of your fast, and making sure that you're getting the appropriate amount of nutrients, the macros, protein, fat, and carbs during the window that you're actually trying to eat, so that you can support all the things that your body's trying to do. Okay? So that is that. Any questions? Hit them up in the comments below. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Hope I've helped you kind of understand the benefit or why intermittent fasting is becoming so popular, and whether or not it'll work for you and how we can make it work for you. If you have more specific questions about your individual life and how we can make it work into what you're trying to do, hit me up. Comment here. You can whatever, right? I'm available, and I want you to be successful and happy, and I'm willing to help. So I'll talk to you later.